The Democrats are crumbling after a catastrophic election defeat at the hands of Donald Trump, and there's only one person they're all blaming: Kamala Harris. The vice president's future in politics is hanging by a thread after top Democrats and megadonors are demanding answers as to where the $1.5 billion in funds have gone, leaving the Democrats in the red. Sky News All-Stars take a look at Kamala Harris's big funding blowout and subsequent post-election demise. Kamala Harris's future is in doubt after top Democrats are asking tough questions concerning the whereabouts of billions of dollars of funding after her disastrous election campaign that left the party in debt. Democrat Party strategist James Carville slammed Harris, saying the donors are enraged.
Resistance is going to have trouble raising money. These fundraisers are burnt. They're really pissed now. And the damage that the 2024 campaign has done, the damage that this decade has done to the Democratic brand is almost unfathomable. Almost unfathomable.
He also went on to say the spending will be audited to get to the bottom of the mess.
We're going to audit the campaign. We're going to audit Future Forward. We're going to audit the DNC. So people can know. But I'm telling you, without complete transparency, the campaign, we think, raised $1.5 billion. Okay? We know that Future Forward, the last we saw was $900 million, so we can assume that they got to $1 billion before election. That's $2.5 freaking billion. Do you have any idea where that money went? Does anybody have any idea where that money went? I mean, I have some places I started looking. All right? And it's all, Albert, I promise you this. The amount of money and the amount of lobbyists that were involved in this campaign is staggering.
And Democrat megadonor John Morgan doubled down on this, slamming Kamala's waist.
Never heard anything like this before. Do you think somebody stole the money?
Well, maybe legally. I mean, look, to me, you remember the movie Mad Max when everybody's just doing whatever they wanted, the end of the world? That's what happened here. All of a sudden, everybody's got the keys to the candy store. Ad buyers, talent, consultants. There's 100 days to do it. And the money started pouring in. Remember this, Chris.
And it seems the pressure has gotten to Kamala as she desperately scrambles to balance the books for the Democrats.
Well, after raising more than $1.5 billion during her failed election campaign and ending up with $20 million in debt, it seems Kamala Harris is desperate for more cash because the vice president is still reportedly pumping Democrat donors for money weeks after the election loss. Joining us now is journalist, writer and co-founder of the Based Politics podcast, Brad Palumbo. Brad, good to see you. Look, either the Democrats have no idea how to manage money or can't read the room. I suspect both at this point. But how bad of a look is this?
It's pathetic and insulting. I mean, you blew $1 billion, including on celebrity endorsements and building 6-figure podcast sets to be built up for an hour interview and then torn down. And yet you have the audacity to come to hardworking Americans who can barely afford to buy groceries, many of them, because in part due to the Biden-Harris administration's policies, and say, give us more money. We squandered it all. Now we're millions in debt. They should hang their heads in shame.
It's taken a toll on the VP, with many observing how defeated she appeared in her one and only public statement since her election defeat.
Let me go to words of wisdom. We all need some advice every now and then, and especially anybody who's been a little bit disaffected by the election victory of Donald Trump and is worried about what the future holds for Joe Biden and for the current Vice President Kamala Harris. Well, Kamala Harris herself has got some words of comfort and inspiration for you.
I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose that you did. And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you.
It's just too good. And she just had her power taken away.
Exactly. You've never seen anyone look more defeated while telling you, don't be defeated.
Sky News contributor Bo Davidson agreed, saying she is a has-been.
But look, it's been widely mocked. Some suggested that she actually appeared drunk, Bo. Perhaps she's finally unburdened, if I can say, by what has been.
Yeah, I think, Danica, she is imbibing on what we might call the liberal tears martini. She's been drinking one too many of those. You never heard of that. It's actually 1 part fake joy. We know that joy was a big part of her campaign. A dash of swing state bitters. She lost all 7 of them. And 150 proof MAGA. That's what's in the liberal tears martini, and she's been drinking way too many of them. Yeah, she appeared drunk on there. But let's be honest. It shows she's out of touch. She was always out of touch. That's the point. When she does videos like this, it's so cringeworthy because that's exactly what her campaign always was. She's a has-been. She's not desirable. No one wants to be a part of her.
All of this post-election drama has led many to ask, what is next for Kamala Harris? And the consensus seems to be a whole lot of nothing.
Well, I don't know that it matters if it's a bad look or not, because Kamala Harris is done. She's cooked. She's toast politically. So, and also the vice president doesn't do much anyway, right? So she's taking a few days off from attending funerals on behalf of the president or overseeing procedural motions in the United States Senate. So it's not like the gears aren't going to keep turning without her. I tend to think the further away she is from the halls of power, the better. So I think she should take a vacation from now until January 20th, and then forever after that, a vacation from politics. But in seriousness, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. She totally bombed and destroyed this campaign by making some of the most ridiculous choices, just passing up the opportunity to go on Joe Rogan and reach millions of men and independents and moderates, the very people who lost her the election, being fake, having dozens of different positions on the issues, no one knowing what she believed, cackling randomly like a hyena unprovoked at the most bizarre times. She deserves a permanent vacation from politics because this isn't her thing, and it's crazy that she ever got this far along in our political system in the first place, honestly.
But some aren't so convinced, saying Kamala Harris may just be delusional enough to run again.
So, good point, right? So, look, she can try as she might. 3rd time lucky. Of course, for Trump, he ran 3 times, won 2 out of 3. 3rd time and her winning 0 out of 3 might be the result. What do you reckon?
Well, I reckon that the Democrats, if they're going to win the presidency again, they're going to need to go back and start actually trying to do business with the working class constituency that they have sent off to the Republicans.
But it doesn't seem like she'll have much support from her base.
She's having a call with donors this week. They tell me about her political future. I don't think she has a political future. So that's my thought on her.